Hi everyone, welcome to our channel. I'm going to be showing you how to roll lumpia. First, we want to make sure that we get the wrappers ready. I like to use these wrappers. I don't know how long these people have been around, but my mom's been using that for a long time. Usually these wrappers come in the frozen food section of the different Asian market stores. For these ones, I just put it in the fridge overnight, but it doesn't take that long for them to defrost. So maybe a couple hours before you start lumpia wrapping, just take it out and defrost it just so you're ready. I usually like to just take out some of it and then I put the rest back. Just because if you're working with all of these wrappers, then sometimes if you've peeled all of them and they're just kind of sitting there, they tend to get dry, and then they're kind of hard to work with. So stick these back in the fridge and then you'll just get more as you need more. So we'll just peel this one because I'm going to show you how to do that differently. And then I'm going to go ahead and cut this one. I like to cut them into a triangle. We're doing this kind of video just because we realized that with our lumpia recipe video, we kind of highlight wrapping it in 15 seconds. It's informative, but it goes kind of fast, so we just wanted to spend more time with how to wrap lumpia. Kind of have to be like strong but gentle because you can easily just rip them and that gets really annoying. And then we'll show you how to wrap lumpia one way. There's not a right way to do it, so just do it however your mom or your grandma does it. But this is how some people do it. They'll take like a little bit of a spoon. This is kind of a huge spoon. This is a serving spoon, but any spoon, and then you just start spreading it out. And then there's not really a right amount, like a thickness. It's kind of your personal preference. I know if I put too little meat, growing up my mom would always say, Nicole, this is not for business, so you can put more meat. But you also don't want to make it too thick either because you're gonna freeze them, or you can fry them right away, whatever, but it makes it harder to cook all the meat all the way through if you make it like huge. You'll get used to the feeling of raw meat in your fingernails. And then you roll. And then you want to make it so that you're rolling it tight, but not too tight. So you want to make sure there's no like air pockets in there. And then you just keep rolling. And then this is my egg. It's not really an egg wash. It's just a scrambled egg. That's what I like to use to seal my lumpia. My mom usually prepares like a cornstarch paste with just cornstarch and water that she heats up over the stove. So that's one thing you can do. And then just roll it, roll it. Well, that looks pretty. So there's one. You could just, fry them up all long like this, or you can take it and you can cut it into pieces or cut it in half. And then we're gonna put it here. I forgot to tell you guys, so usually when I separate these wrappers, I don't know if this really does anything, but my mom taught me to cover them while they're just sitting there, just so that they cannot dry out as fast. Now I'm gonna show you my preferred method, which is using Wilton's piping bags. This is how my mom taught me how to roll lumpia, and it's just a lot faster, and then all of your lumpia kind of is the same size, which is kind of nice. I like to measure it by my fingers. Usually I pick the ring finger because that's about the size of lumpia that I like. And then I just start cutting the tip. Just gonna cut. You might have to trim it a few times. You just keep snipping. It's about the size of my index finger knuckle, which is perfect. So you want to shovel some of that meat in here. So once you get enough meat in there, you kind of just squish it, and then you can do a test run back into the bowl so you don't waste the meat. And it's about as thick as I want it to be. Then, as you've probably seen in our other video, I like to lay these out. So you start from the bottom And then you kind of lay them out overlapping each other like a Christmas tree. I usually like to do about 5 at a time. Okay, and then I just start from the top and I work my way down. Or you could do the bottom up, doesn't really matter. And then you bring the corners together. I do like this way of wrapping just because I like to close the ends. And then it's kind of the same method. You want to make sure that it's tight enough where there's not air bubbles or anything, but you're kind of tender about it. And then you take some egg. Some people just use egg white and some people just use water. How many of you guys actually just use water and does it work? Let's put it next to the extra long one. I don't know if you noticed, but my tray is lined with saran wrap because we're gonna plan to freeze it and I don't want them stuck to the tray. And then when I place them down on the tray, the little tail, I always position it so it's on the bottom of the roll, just in case it tries to do something sneaky like pop up. Lumpia wrapping definitely takes practice, so don't be discouraged if they look a little funny at first. And we just keep doing this for like an hour or 2. We're done with our first layer, so I'm just gonna put some saran wrap over because we don't want them to be touching or else they will get stuck to each other. You also want to make sure they're not actually like squished together touching. So we're gonna go ahead and put these ones right in between. Whenever I refill, there's gonna be air bubbles in here, so you do want to try and like prime your bag a little bit. It's so nice to have extra lumpia in the fridge. Then when people stop by, you're ready. You just have to throw them into the fryer. Ooh, I have a pro tip. After they're frozen, don't thaw them. Just directly from the freezer, throw them into hot oil. Don't throw it, place it gently into hot oil. The reason why you want to do that is when you thaw them out, they get all wrinkly and soggy looking, and then they're just not very presentable. But if you throw them in directly from the freezer, they stay like straight. You know what I'm talking about? This is the last one. Feels good. Yay! And there you go. I'm gonna saran wrap this. We use this big tray because we have a chest freezer, so we could just put the whole entire tray in, and then once it's completely frozen, take them out a day later. I put them into freezer bags, but I don't put them into freezer bags right away because they're still soft, and so they'll get all like you know. If you don't have a chest freezer or room for a huge tray like this, then you can just put it into like a smaller container and just stack them with saran wrap in between. So here it is. I'm gonna put it in the freezer now. So after you freeze the lumpia overnight, you want to move them into more manageable freezer bags. Freezing them on a tray first, make sure that they don't stick together when they're frozen and they kind of maintain this really flat shape or stick-like shape. Now you're just gonna be ready for when family just drops by. Thanks for watching our video, and if you guys have any other tips or tricks on rolling lumpia, then let us know in the comments below. And if you guys are new here and like what you saw, then give us a thumbs up and subscribe. Thanks, bye.